Alright guys, everything I saw looked really good, so we're going to move on to the properties of logarithms. So what's kind of cool about the properties is that it allows us to condense and expand a logarithmic expression. This will become useful later on when we're solving logarithmic equations. That sometimes we may be adding or subtracting some logarithms, and by condensing them it gives us a quantity that we can then rewrite into exponential form and solve from there. A lot of words, we'll deal with it in small chunks. So the first property is the product property, and that's when we have the log base something of two quantities being multiplied together. We can break up that one expression into two expressions. Notice how they have the same base, and we break up the multiplication into its two factors. So log base b of m plus log base b of n. The quotient property, division, we break up the numerator and the denominator by subtraction. Notice how the numerator comes first, the denominator comes second. And lastly, the power property, that simply means that we can take this exponent and move it down in front, and it now becomes a coefficient or a multiplier. That's extremely useful because if we were solving this in an equation, we could just divide by n and then we would just have an isolated logarithm. So here's just a quick example of each property being used. We have the condensed version. I'm going to break that up into addition. We have the condensed version. I'm going to break that up into subtraction, and then that x comes down in front as a coefficient. So pretty straightforward. For today, you're just going to try 4 problems. Now I have made these a little bit harder than what I had previously. So the first 2 you're expanding. Now notice how I have 2 times x times y. So there's a little hint for you. This is 4 times x, and both of these are being divided by 3. Down here, I would like you to condense them into one logarithm. So these will look like these, and these will look like these. The parentheses, remember that groups together 2 logarithms, so make sure you condense this first and then condense it with this. And this one here, the same thing. Good luck.